Hello everyone, welcome into my first tutorial that I'm going to be doing on this channel. Let me know if you guys want any more of content like this. This is for a graphic I just did, the Greetings from Florida graphic that I made for the Pirates spring training. I'm going to be taking you through the different layers and what went through my head when I was doing this. So here we go. So first, turn off that right now. Alright, we're going to start with the background. So this is what the background looks like here. So I started with just a white color filled background. Then got the gradient tool and I changed it so it would be foreground to transparent. Make sure it's on black there. And basically what you do is just drag it up from the bottom to the top like that. And I had that at I think 40% opacity when I did it. So you just go up here, change this to 40, and you just drag up from the bottom like that. Blending mode's on darken here, and you're gonna want to hit this one right here. That's the linear. Once you get that, I got a picture of the Pirates spring training field here, and then I changed it to 50% fill. It's on normal here, and then again with the gradient tool here, you want it black to white. You're gonna want to come over here and hit the vector mask button, and I just faded it in from all sides here, made it look like this, and I changed the blending mode from normal, come down here to luminosity. It's going to change it to black and white here. The next I got this is a picture of just like a pirate wood plank, just got it off of Google. You can find these anywhere. And then what I did for that was I changed the I got a hue and saturation layer. So you go down here to adjustment layers, hue and saturation, and if you want to copy the exact numbers that I did, it was +3, -77 for saturation, and +13 for lightness here. Do not hit colorize. And then once I got the color that I wanted, I came down here, and once again, just like I did for that, black to white on this, just faded it in from back to front here, as you can see there. And then I got the Pittsburgh Pirates logo just off of Google. If I take out all the effects that I did, so it's just a normal Pirates logo. So first, to start off, I added a stroke here, the color white, size 2, positions on the outside, blend mode is normal, opacity is 91, inner shadow, blend mode is normal, color is black, opacity is 48%, angle is -27 degrees, distance is 5, choke 0, size 25. Then an inner glow. This is the hex code if you want to use the exact same color, but it's at 90% opacity with vivid light and 0 choke and 8 size. Add a satin layer, which does that. It's on overlay at 20% and black, angle is 124, distance is 4, and size is 67. Gradient overlay, the mode is on reflected, angle is 36 degrees, scale 72%, blend mode normal, opacity 100. Gradient starts here on the Pittsburgh gold color, hex code FFB 612. And then about 60% of the way through, we go here to 9E6F14. And about 94% of the way through, we come here to 51, 38, and 08. That should get you that. Then we added an outer glow and overlay, 84%, noise 14%, technique softer, blend modes overlay, and 27 for these numbers. Again, that color is just the same one we used up here. Then a drop shadow at 60%, and you can copy the numbers there. And then all I did was convert that all into a smart object, change the blend mode to multiply, and 67% fill. And then next for the background were these trees here. So I just looked up palm trees off of Google, found one that I liked and cut it out. Then they were a bit too light green for me, so I added a hue and saturation layer here, and these are the settings I used for that. And I just created a mask, hit B for brush, opacity was 100, flow 27, and hardness 0, soft round brush. White reveals, black hides. So once you get your mask, you're gonna hit Command I or Control I, invert it, and paint in where you want the green. I did that twice, and I went on here, filter, blur, motion blur, and then angle was, I think the angle was around 39, and the distance was like, looks to be about 7, but you can play around with it to just find whatever you like there. For the players here, we just got 3 photos offline and mask out the players. If you want me to do a tutorial on masking out players, let me know. But once you mask them out, what you're gonna do is go up here to filter, then camera raw filter, and then go into basic. And usually what I do is I crank this all the way up. It's gonna look weird because I already did it once, but I crank it up either all the way or like 60s, something like that. And I like to use clarity. I think it makes everything pop more. Dehaze goes up, it darkens it a little bit. I up the exposure a little bit, but again, it's gonna look weird because I did it. Down the contrast, up the highlights, down the shadows, up the whites and up the blacks. Then add a little bit of vibrance back in, around 5, but I'm just gonna cancel all that because I did it already. And then detail, I usually add like 38 of sharpening, and to counteract it, you add noise reduction back in and color noise reduction. And then you just basically do the same thing for the other 2 players there. And what I ended up doing for this right here is I copied McCutcheon here, brought that to the back here, then went up here to filter, blur, motion blur, angle 0, distance 68, and then what I ended up doing was masking it, inverting it, and just painting it here by the foot. And then we have to get our player foot shadows in there, which is this. What you do is you go to your brush, beat for brush, soft brush, hold shift, and drag this pinpoint here down. Hardness is at 0. Opacity, I like to start around 40. Flow is 27%, and what you do is you hit the brackets to make it smaller or bigger, and you just start by the foot, click a couple times, make it bigger, click, 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 click. There's your foot shadow. And you do it for all your players there. And I also added in a baseball over here. Basically, I just found a baseball off the internet, masked it out, added a camera rod to it, and then I copied it, and put some motion blur on it. First I put motion blur on that one, again blur, motion blur, then I went like that, and like that. And the rationale for that was, it looks like O'Neal Cruz is eyeing up the ball and going to hit it. And then for this ball trail here, what you do is you just copy it, put it in the back of the image there, turn that one off, go up here to filter, blur, radial blur, make sure it's on spin and good, mount 10, it's gonna look like that. Gonna come over here to blend mode, change it to linear dodge add, rotate this around, place it where you think it looks good. There you go. The stamp and the text up there. To create this stamp effect, what I did was I got a ellipse here, and if you don't know where to find that, that's down here. You go in your rectangle tool and you can just hold the left mouse button and drag over to ellipse, and you just make it however big you want. And to start out here, this is going to be the drop shadow of the ellipse. So you get it, then you add a drop shadow to it, and you take out all of the fill, you turn the fill to 0, and then you right click, come over here, and you're going to hit rasterize layer style. And then once that's done, you're going to come over here, mask, and once again black to white and fade it in from the right there. And then we're going to create another ellipse, and then you're going to get text, hover over it until it changes the cursor to that. I changed the words to spring training, 16 point size. The font that I used, Integral CF, you can look it up, and you can really choose any color you want. And then you just fit it to make it look nice. Not gonna do it because I already did it. And then you do the same thing for the bottom. Just make sure you have ellipse on, hover over it until it changes, and then Bradenton, and you just fit it to that. Then I just put the word 2023 in there. That is this font called Robinson Regular. And then I just put a pirate logo right under it. Then to create that effect, alright, new layer, fill it. Now copy the ellipse. You're not gonna see anything because it's black. Can change that. And then what you're gonna do is come up here to filter gallery. Do that. And it's gonna be spatter. And you can just make it however you like. Doesn't really matter. Just adjust the settings accordingly. Then you come up here. Once you're satisfied, select color range. Then you're going to select that color right there. And then you're going to come down to the original ellipse. Then hit mask. And it will mask it. And then all I did to make it look like that is I took a brush and I found a brush off of line that was like this, and then you just hit mask and paint over it. Then for the text here, greetings from Florida. So I just typed it in, and the font that I used is that Fino right here. You just type in spring training or greetings from Florida. And then the effects that I used: stroke outside, opacity 60, size 3. Color is that Pittsburgh Gold FFB 612. Then a gradient overlay, normal 79%, style diamond, angle 0, scale 150. Once you got that, it should look like that. I just found a 3D model of a pirate ship offline, put it in the corner here, went up to filter, blur, motion blur. And then for the glow, I just took a brush in that color and just painted around it. You're going to want to make sure the opacity is around 60, hardness is all the way down, and flow is around 27 once again. And then I didn't like how it was so bright down in the corner, so I took a levels adjustment layer, which is down here, and I took in the side here, Command I to invert, brush B, white reveals, and you just paint it on. And then for the glow around it, you just take another brush, go around in the same color, and then I added inner glow on screen and this red here, and an outer glow on normal on red with those settings. And I also put it on his legs there, because if the light was coming out, it'd be on his legs as well. And then for the map in the corner, just got a picture of a pirate's map off a line, did a hue and saturation layer. You can see the settings I used for that there. And then I masked it, and I just took a brush and hid all the areas I didn't want, so that it looked kind of fading and rugged. But I also added a filter, blur, motion blur. And then for the final color, I got a postcard texture offline, and I put it on multiply blend mode. What you can do is hit Command, Option, Shift, E. It's going to make a copy of every layer, filter, camera raw filter, basic, and up the texture, up the clarity, up the B-haze, exposure, just like we did for the last one. But here's where it gets different. You're gonna come down here to optics, turn the vignette all the way down, distortion, gonna come up here to +4. It's gonna look a little weird, so you're gonna have to hit Command T, right click, warp, and I just went for sort of off-centered, sort of went off-centered. You just take these handles, just kind of drag them around to make it look how you want, and then I added a logo in the corner. And that's how you make this graphic. If you guys want any more tutorials, let me know.
You tune in to Steel City Creative.